Brianna?
I want to start with what has been kind of the message you've been emphasizing to this team following the loss?
I don't want to be, too dramatic about one game. I said before, it's not the wedding, it's the marriage, And then as a coach, you fall in that trap yourself. Then you focus a lot about the wedding that was not that amazing that you maybe thought about before. So I tried to find the right balance there. But I think there were some things in the game that I didn't like, and it's about how we act, and I don't know if I said it, but when you see your players take a step backwards instead of taking a step forward, you can win the game anyway. But I said to them in halftime that if it looks like this in the second half and we win the game, I will be disappointed anyway. So probably I would have been very happy with a victory anyway. But after a while, I would then have been disappointed because I know the players more and more. But these kind of situations is also a possibility to get to know each other even better. And so my message to them was clear that, okay, we don't go out and play with these kind of behaviors where we hope that the opponent will not be good or so on. So we need to. I have said it here also. We need to make sure we decide our own destiny, and we didn't do it in the game.
How much was it? Do you feel like was it mental errors, and how much do you think it was just physically not doing what you guys were supposed to be doing?
I think when it comes to the physical performance, it was. I got it from the performance department. I think it was the highest. Every number was the highest for 3 years. So maybe that was not the feeling during the game. I think the artificial grass, you call it turf. It's always create a feeling that you are in one tempo, kind of, because the ball just glide on the turf, but the players put in like an amazing physical performance. But in that sense, I think we overdid. Can I put it like that? We run too much in the wrong situations. Or put it like this: we needed to run too much because the counterattacks, in one way they were very skillful there, we knew it, but we invited them to counterattack against us because we handed the ball over to my teammate. I didn't take the run when we needed it, and then we had, instead of running 5-10 meters, we had to go 60 meters backwards, and we did it, but it also maybe drained us a little bit, so it was more this part, and it is often that part. So that's also a very fun part of the game. How can I help my players to release the potential they have?
What do you think kind of in this week of training is going to be the biggest focus for you with this team?
To keep on being flexible when it's come to formation and systems. Now we have played teams that play a lot with back four, and they have I call it low fullbacks. So and when you play with wing backs like we do, they get a long way to press. So how can we find a pressing structure that is good? Even when teams build like we played also Colorado in the friendly game, and they were extremely patient and waited and moved the ball and used the keeper. I think it will be not exactly that, but that will also be maybe the scenario when we play on Saturday again. So how we can be good in pressing the opponent and be flexible in that part. But otherwise it's more us let loose. Very easy to say, and I think everybody in this room, when you know how it is, when you need to perform, no matter how professional you are and the experience you have, there will always be some thoughts in your head that can be, will I manage this, or and just to relax and let go of that and do.
Is there an update on Dylan and the injury he suffered on Saturday?
I think he will not be available in like 2-3 weeks time at least. Then I don't want to say more than that, but like I don't count with him in 2-3 weeks.
Was it something with his ACL,
Hamstring. Yeah, that's the word for the. I was about saying the Swedish word. Yeah, hamstring. So
right or left?
Don't know.
And Abuli, you said he was favoring it. Is he good or is
Who did you say?
Abuli.
Wes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. This is, sometimes when it's the same when in coaching. They have like 4 different names for the players, and I'm like, you mean Wes, or you mean Ali? You mean yeah. So it was. This is also where we are a little bit. Of course, when you start the competitive season, you would love to have everybody like, okay, this is their 100, and you are there with everybody. But we are not. Taha is a player that he has trained like 2 weeks, so we know if we push him too much, then he will get probably other injuries. So we need to have a plan for him, and we have Rudy, same thing. From the beginning, we had a plan that Rudy would play 60, Taha 60, and West 60, but I pushed them a little bit longer. But for every week and training they can do, we can push them a little bit more.
But they'll still be available for Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. So they will train today.
And Mo's still recovering as well.
Yeah. And Ibra was the one I forgot last week. He's back to training. He has been a little bit with also muscles, but he's back training now.
What type of injury? Muscle.
Yeah, asked. Do we have the performance?
I can get you that update.
Yeah. So something with in Sweden we don't. We talk about upper body or lower body injuries, so it could be a lower body.
I'm here to challenge you, sorry.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
Coach, if your team in 3 months plays Portland again, what 1 or 2 things do you expect to see differently?
The obvious thing is to attack the game with a clearer mindset of really attacking the game, and like I said, don't wait for the opponent. Then the other thing is, and I think that's more on me, I would say, because if on the press conference after, I said that it looked exactly like Crew last year, and that was one thing that we of course we worked on it, but it's also the structure, how we look when we lose the ball, and that was not good enough. If I'm going to be self-critical, and I always try to be that, is that I would probably I need, so if we play them again, then we need to have a better structure, and I need to be more clear that this is the positions. I think the downside with being a fluid team, and it was the same last year for Crew, is that sometimes the central midfielders disappear from central spaces, and sometimes we are not in good positions to defend. And so that, together with the mindset that we were afraid of the space behind, but it was more the space in front of our back line where they hurt us, because they could get away when we lost it. They could find 2-3 passes, and then they could attack our back line. So I would have structured it better, and then the mindset.
So when you talk about instead of taking a step back, take a step forward. In what moments in the game are you asking that of your team?
A good question, because if you do it all the time, you also expose yourself. So and that's what I now I shouldn't. when it's always nice to talk football, so I start to talk too much about things, and I don't want to give the players any excuses neither. So, but what can differs on turf and like the pitch we have is that the ball it moves fast also on a very good natural pitch, but it goes even faster on turf, and then you get a little bit, as a player you feel like you're not really in control because it moves too fast, and then you get passive, and that happens in our team. So for example, the moment that we needed to press out, it was when we are organized and compact. We can't just be compact. We just stood in like a shape. Then, so for example, when they had their build up, we needed to trap them better. I think our players up front, West, Diego, Hugo, they did a good job, but our midfield, our wing backs, our backline, they didn't take advantage of that because they didn't step. Mm-hmm. So then you get passive, and then at some point you don't have pressure on their ball carrier, and then they can start to play a little bit better passes up to and we know they had, in that case, Portland had a lot of power in their attacking line, and we gave them the possibility to use that. So that was clearly the biggest moment. But also when we lost the ball, because then I said we had structure is a little bit bad, yeah, but there were also moments where we had the structure, but you were more afraid of something behind you, but it was not a threat, instead of killing it, or if I use that word, to take a step forward.
In the personnel you have this year, and in the mentality that you've talked about, that is, take more risks.
Yeah.
Maybe instead of holding the ball atop the 18, let's look for that ball over the top to the far post, whatever.
Yeah.
It appeared as though we saw a lot more of that.
Yeah.
And it also looks like there's a lot more potential for that ball to a diagonal run to Wessam Abu Ali.
Yeah.
Or the pass to the top of the 18 where Rossi is camped out.
Yeah.
That has to be a promising component to what came out of Saturday for you.
Yeah, I think also, I mean, I was also quite negative directly after, and still, but it's more because I don't want to. I think I can add that I think sometimes when you play the way Crew played before, and also my teams, I notice one thing that can happen is that you hide behind the way you play, and you get like, yeah, we had the ball a little bit more. Like in second half, we were a lot more often in their penalty box than they were in our penalty box. But still, they scored one goal, we didn't. And so I don't want to make any excuses, and I don't want the players to hide behind the fact that we also play good. But we played good also. And those things you described, I'm really satisfied with that. I think we had this diagonal connection a lot more. I think you saw some attacks where we were quite close to each other, and where West, Diego, Hugo also, they started to enjoy playing close to each other. Then we want to add another part, and then another part. The center midfielders need to also be connected there. I think we controlled the game better in the second half, but I want at least like 3-4 more attacks ends up in a clear chance, and still we choose not to take that run, or we choose not to go against the opponent. But I agree, there were some promising attacks and also tendencies, so that's also what we build on, of course.
Thank you.
Coach, you talk about in the second half you guys were more in their penalty box area. Is that something that when you came to Columbus that you saw videos from last year, that there wasn't that many guys in their box, and to work on that going into this year?
Yeah, 100%. It's I think that's the thing. I mean, you can't be good at everything, even if you look at. And I like to watch the best teams in the world, not because I want to do exactly like them. They have, of course, a technical ability that is amazing. Now we have some top-class players also, and we will have Gomez coming in that is like world-class player in many phases of the game. But what I look for is more what the best teams in the world, what are they doing like consistently, and they are so good in getting the numbers into the box. So I think that was much better because when you have the ball a lot, you can also end up dropping out and have the ball in spaces that are not so dangerous, and that's maybe a tendency that Crew had last year, and that will still be sometimes we do because you control the game that way. But to get numbers into the box, very important. And I can also say right now, maybe during my time here, we have worked a lot about more like behaviors. Can we run into the box? Now we start to get into a little bit more details, like, okay, this is your responsibility. So if we attack on our right side, then Max needs to come into the penalty box as a wing back. We need, of course, West. We need Diego. We need Ugo. But still, sometimes we drop out and wait for, okay, now we will not attack the box. We will go around. No, we go into the box. So, but that was a little bit better, I would say.
And you talk about the midfield not being in, staying centrally or not being in the right spot. When you look back at the season last year and, for games, can you see the hole that was left by Darlington Nagbe retiring?
Yeah.
And how do you try to, fill those shoes?
Yeah, we haven't even talked about his, that we don't have him, the leader. I would say he still is. Like, he's here, and when you talk with him, you notice which kind of person and the presence he has. But and also, I have this saying that the midfielders should be in the office. Like central midfielders should be at their desk and working at the office every day. Sometimes last year also, even when he played, but then he could compensate a lot of things. But yeah, that is something we need. That's what I mean. I need probably to structure that a little bit better. Like, don't have too much freedom. They need to be. Then if it's one central midfielder or if it's two, you need to be in the office and working. And he did that a lot. So yeah, but that's a reality, and I have big confidence in the players we have. Also, I mentioned Taha. I choose to play him in a kind of new role. Short term, that maybe is not the best way because he is not so used to. There are situations where he is like, he right now he lacked awareness. Like, okay, I need to take 5 meters here, so I'm in a better position to win the second ball. But we believe so much in him and his ability, and he also give. I think in the second half he started to play much better. I needed to sub him because his background then, but in the long term, the playing time he gets now will benefit him and the team. But short term, then there are some things there. But I know also the potential centrally in the field is very big, and when Gomez also will be here, then we have some nice dynamic. We have Bangura that is also starting to get to know the league, the country. He has played in a totally different environment, so I'm really excited how it will look in a couple of weeks, or hopefully. You said 2 months or 3 months before we play Portland again, but we always try to make this as fast as possible. Then, and I don't want to be a coach that sits here and talk about the process, blah blah blah, because I want to win every game. But some things you can't hurry them. What is the song? You can't hurry love. It's an old song. So it's a little bit the same here. I talk with the players right now about trust. What is the most important thing in a relationship? If you ask everyone, and I ask the players, they say trust. Yeah. How do you create that? You need time. But we try to speed that process up as much as we can, because I don't want to wait 2-3 months until I see, okay, now. So again, this game, a lot of lessons. Sometimes you know how it is. You learn the most when you have some struggles. You don't like it. You would like it to be the opposite, that you have just success and you learn so many things, but you have a window also as a coach to really make a point when you have some like now a bad game. So we will learn a lot of things from this game, and then the process will be faster, I hope.
We got a couple more minutes. Let's go to Mike.
At the risk of you repeating yourself, what have been your priorities in training this week?
To take a step forward. What did we talk about? What's the song? The theme is "I Won't Back Down" with Tom Petty. Yeah, it's
We got the Beatles and we got Tom Petty.
yeah. So it's that tells us which kind of age we my age, 50. So the players don't always know. Actually, yesterday I talked about Bruce Springsteen with one not in the staff around, and he was, Bruce, who? What? In Sweden, everybody knows who's Bruce Springsteen. Like, he's the biggest star in Sweden, and he didn't know. But yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
What happens when someone says to you, "I don't know who Bruce Springsteen is"?
First, I start to question myself, or then I question more him. So, and then I actually I have this what do we call it, LP?
Yeah.
So I have that on the office. I got it from our communication department. So and then I had a Born to Run record. So I played Thunder Road for him. So yeah.
Very good.
All good? All right. Thanks, Henrik.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And here's